Namaste. In this video, we are going to study the three kinds of happiness as described in the Bhagavad Gita. Many times you see we may have a feeling that we are quite happy and life is good. But what we fail to realize is what is the depth of our happiness? What is the level of happiness? So these are things which we should pay attention to in order to deepen life itself. It's not just to be in a good mood. When we talk of real lasting happiness, it's not just even contentment. It is something to do with the deepest levels of our awareness. So in the Bhagavad Gita, we have this very good description of the different kinds of happiness available to us and what are the characteristics of each type and how it depends on the gunas. See, this very beautiful way of describing the subjective experiences of our life through Sankhya, through the understanding of the three gunas. This is the speciality of the Bhagavad Gita. And by doing this, it is going to show us that there are deeper and happier experiences in life. A level of life where just putting the mind in that level will bring you great inner sattvic happiness. So the development of sattva is recommended as a means to the highest happiness and not exactly the experiences, having more experiences from the outside world, having more vacations, more jewelry. It's not just about this. In fact, even the food you eat can in no way compared to the deep joy of meditation. That is why in the Indian scriptures there's a definite distinction between these types of joys. The ordinary relative joys of life are put under what is called sukham, but the real transcendental bliss of meditation, the touch of God, is put under Anandam. And these two are considered to be widely different in the sense you can't compare Sukham with Anandam. So the idea is this, that there is a level of all-satisfying bliss available to the human life. And the more we become sattvic in nature, the more we will be able to touch this form of immense happiness, transcendental happiness. So this is beautifully described in the Bhagavad Gita. Let me go to the verse in the 18th chapter which describes this. It is verse 37 where Lord Krishna says, Yattadagre vishamiva pariname amritopamam tad sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. So what appears to be like, very repulsive in the beginning, it may appear very obnoxious or you don't want to do it, vishamiva. But it ends in pariname amritopamam. It ends in a nectar-like feeling of joy and happiness. It ends in complete satisfaction. It ends in bliss. This type of sukham is called satvikam. And what does it leave you with? Atma buddhi prasadajam. It leaves you with an effulgence and an energy, an exuberance in your soul and in the buddhi, which reflects that light, which reflects the light of your soul. Both of these are, exuberant with immense happiness as a result of this sattvic joy. So this joy can be actually seen on the face because the face is the index of the mind. It reflects what is happening in the mind. So this form of sattvic joy comes when you transcend the normal level of the mind. The mind becomes full of sattva and you are able to somewhere feel the touch of the soul or what we call the Atman. So here it is the light of awareness that simply lights up the different organs, starting from the buddhi, the mind, the senses, everything. So it is the highest form of happiness. You might have seen this on the faces of some people. They exude happiness, as it were. When you come into their ambit, everyone becomes happy. Everyone feels the joy without any object, without any particular cause. And then one understands that it is the effulgent joy of the soul, the deep happiness and calmness and awareness of the soul that is coming out through this equipment. So this is sattvic joy. It has no parallel. It is the highest. In fact, sattva produces this joy. And the next level of joy, the next kind of joy that Bhagavad Gita speaks of is Vishayendriya Sanyogat Yattadagre Amritopamam Pariname Vishamiva Tat Sukham Rajasam Smritam. If you can take the example for sattvic joy as, say, the joy of meditation, the joy of discipline, then the rajasic joy is the joy of the senses, the joy of achievement, all this. So what is the characteristic of this joy? Vishayendriya Sanyogat. As a result of the contact between the sense organ and the sense object, the joy that is produced. And what is the nature of that joy? Agre amritopamam, but pariname vishamiva. Initially it may appear very pleasant and very nice, but towards the end, in the parinam, the final end of it is that it appears to be really repulsive, obnoxious. You don't like it anymore. So check it out in your own life and see. There are joys of this kind. Initially, you're very excited about them. Later on, they only leave you with a deep feeling of unfulfillment and despair. So this is the rajasic joy, which comes as a result of the contact between sense object and sense organ. So this kind of joy is very temporary, not lasting, and not fulfilling. Only it is exciting. It excites you initially, and that is why most people understand this to be joy. So this is the rajasic level of joy, after which the Bhagavad Gita also describes the tamasic joy. You know, there are people who take joy in drinks and drugs and very temporary excitement, and they will invest so much energy into it, life into it, that at the end they are simply full on. They are totally dissatisfied. So this is described in this way in the Bhagavad Gita. Yad agre chanubandhecha sukham mohanam nidralasya pramadotham tat tamasamudahritam. That joy which is, painful in the beginning and at the end. But the person who is experiencing it may not understand it at that moment, because the mind is so restless, he is just wanting some kind of a diversion. So he is going into it. And its nature is moha, delusive. There is no clarity regarding this experience. It deludes you thoroughly. And it results in nidra, alasya and pramad. Sleep, indolence, laziness and, error, misperception, wrong knowledge. And this kind of joy is called the tamasic kind of joy. People take joy even in this because the mind is too restless to feel any kind of deep level joy. So anything will do. See, when you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So in this kind of an experience also, people find joy by putting down their mind through drinks and drugs, by indulging in all sorts of things which are so repulsive actually. But it is some form of diversion for the mind. So why should you reduce yourself to a state where the unpleasant appears pleasant to you? This kind of an experience is actually painful to the sensitive mind from the beginning till the end. But still, a person can go into it if he is under the grip of tamas. Tamasic joy, this is called. So it leaves the person utterly unfulfilled and fed up with himself, actually dissatisfied with himself. So this is the reason why then people go into all kinds of negativity, depression, suicide, because they have got used to joys which are really obnoxious. So this is the tamasic form of joy, which is to be completely removed from life. If you really want to grow in life, evolve in life, then get used to the sattvic form of happiness. The happiness that comes by an elevated mind, elevated thought and emotion, by the power of meditation, by the power of service. The joy that comes out of that just makes somebody truly happy. And you will see the happiness that spreads across his or her face will give you so much of gladness within yourself. So once we get used to these kind of happiness, joys, then you will understand that really this tamasic and rajasic joys are not worth having. So actually it is a growth or a development from within. When you don't taste real happiness, you will settle for pleasure and all these drinks and drugs. So take care of your mind and life. This is the actual message of the Bhagavad Gita. Also the Gita, like a mother, it teaches us, it points out very clearly that there is no being in the heavens or on earth who is not under the grip of these gunas of Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So make sure your mind is conditioned in Sattva. Make sure that is the dominant guna in your mind. Make sure that your very life and lifestyle is Sattvic. And you can be sure of getting the highest, best and happiest experiences of life. This is the message of the Bhagavad Gita and the study of the 3 kinds of happiness. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.